Welcome back to the Switch Sports Golf Ranked League. We are playing with a 6-person lobby here, and everybody involved is in the top 20 of the Ranked League. So we're going to see some incredibly impressive shots here. I can say that ahead of time. It happens every single time we play with this type of lobby. We have some players already pushing 3,000 Elo, or at least close to it, with still over a month left in this ranked season. Now, at the end of this ranked season, the top 16 players get a bye to the round of 32 in the World Open, which is huge because there will probably be hundreds of players signing up for this, and everybody makes it. There are no qualifiers, so if you can get that bye to the round of 32, so everybody else has to advance, they eliminate half the field every round down to 16 players, and then the top 16 ranked players get to join and battle it out from there. So this is going to be an extremely competitive game. We've got Inventago, we've got ads / that name you see on the left side of my screen. Major Tom is here, Sadine is here, we've got Gearsey / Tricky. We have an extremely skilled lobby. Let's see if we can compete well. Ooh, we get a little launch on this first hole here into the bunker. We're still 33 yards out, but maybe we can use the wedge here. There's not a ton of slope to this part of the green, and it's a tailwind shot. Let's really zoom in and try to get this one right. We'll aim it to like there. Try to land it just left of the pin and zip it back that way. So we'll call it like 3.5 or so dots of power on this wedge shot. Let's see if we can pull off an eagle. Okay, that looks pretty good. Oh, it's going to be a little too far. Is it going to zip back? Oh, it will. And we'll sink it. Oh, that's a super close one for Sadine. I'm not sure if we saw any other eagles there. I got a pretty fortunate break launching into the bunker. Oh, Inventago just misses it as well. Wow, we saw a bunch of close approaches there. I got lucky to make that one. I ended up in the fortunate spot, like I said. And it looks like we'll see birdies all around. So I'll make the only eagle to take the solo lead after the first hole. There's a lot of Elo up for grabs in this game. Plenty of players ahead of me in the rankings. We'll move on to hole 8, and it looks like we have a fairly straightforward rest of the seed. I mean, hole 8's always difficult, but we see some nicer wind and not too bad of a pin here. Let's aim this one to about there. We'll take the 3-iron with about 3 dots of power. That should work nicely. Let's try it out. Okay, ooh, it's a little on the short side, but that should end up okay. It'll just take a big bounce short of that mound. Oh, Tom! Major Tom makes the hole-in-one. I end up a little bit short. 14 feet away with a side hill putt. That's a great shot from Major Tom. So now I have to sink this to keep the tie for the lead. It's a tougher little side hill putt, as is typically the case on this hole 8. We can just tap this up there with a little less than a dot of power. Or exactly a dot of power. It'll work either way. And we'll sink the birdie. So I knew that I could confidently call before this game that we were going to see some fantastic shots. We've already seen a good, fairly straightforward eagle from me with that chip, but a very nice ace from Tom. We're going to have to make a couple more shots to try to win this one. We'll move on to hole 1. We'll have a little bit of wind, it looks like. We'll call it, 9 miles an hour. So some slightly stronger wind as far as hole 1 goes. We'll just hit this drive out to the middle of the fairway. And we'll have a decent look with a 9-iron at trying to make this one. It's tough to say exactly, but I think that's a pretty good spot to aim it. We'll hit it with about that much power. 3.2 or so, 3.3 dots feels pretty good. Let's hit this one up there. Alright, that looks not great. It's aimed way too far left. It's tough to tell with the diagonal wind how much it's actually going to move sometimes. My adjustment was definitely quite off, but fortunately, it's not too bad. Oh, somebody made it. Sadine makes it every single hole so far. We have seen a hole out. So the group has collectively, if this were kind of like a scramble, we would have shot a 6 under through 3. Let's see if we can keep that going as a group. We now have a 3-way tie at the top. So Sadine with a nice eagle. We've seen 1 eagle on every single hole so far. So it'll now be through 3 players at 4 under. 3 players are just 1 shot back at 3 under. We've got hole 16 here and some tougher looking wind. I am in a brutal tee spot. But kind of fortunately, this isn't much of an eagle chance anyway, so we can just hit this one safely out to that left fairway. It's not much of an issue. We're just going to have to hit a crosswind shot up to this green. And from the spot where I put this, it should be a good look at it. Yeah, so we can just go around that tree that's straight in front of me. There's a nice gap to my left, which is exactly where I have to put this. So a good spot to leave this one. Let's club up to the 5-iron. We'll call the aim to there about good. I'll hit it with a little more than 3 dots of power. And that should be, you know, a good look to put this on the green. Hopefully pretty close. Okay, that's what I wanted to do. Ooh, it's going to move way too far to the right. That one really, really moved. Fortunately, though, it'll glide to a stop, even though it's, you know, not my best look at it. It's only 16 feet away on a pretty flat part of the green. So not too bad of a look at this birdie putt. It's just going to move a touch to the left. Let's see if we can pull that off. 1.5 dots. That looks pretty good. Oh, and we'll sink it. A little bit too hard, but it just falls in the right side. Doesn't lip out. We'll make a nice birdie on a tougher hole 16. So we'll see 2 pars, 4 birdies, and it'll be me and Sedin at 5 under through 4. It has not been the easiest seed. And now we'll see that front middle pin on hole 11. One of the tougher ones, but I kind of like this one. We'll have 6-mile-an-hour winds to deal with. We'll call the aim to about there good, I want to say. Let's zoom in, make sure that looks pretty decent. I think that's pretty good. And now the problem with this is that it doesn't really bite hard with the 3-iron. I'll still go for it. Let's try it out, see if we can still put it up there. Give it a chance at the ace. That's going to be too far. It's going to clip the green first. Kick to the right. It'll roll back down, but it's not going to make it all the way. And we'll just have to tap in for a birdie, as will a couple of other players here. This is a chance at an ace. There are a couple players still on the tee. We'll see if any of them can join me and Sedin in the lead after I saw Sedin tap that in for the birdie. Looks like it's just, oh, Inventago, who will hit the flag and bounce to just a couple feet away. That was on a fantastic line. If it was like an inch further to the right. It barely clipped the pin on that soft bounce. Tough break for Inventago. He'll have to tap in. Fortunately, it didn't go too far away. That was a tougher one, tougher condition. We saw a whole bunch of close calls. Some people's spin didn't make it all the way back. You know, you have to cut it close to that pin to put it by. Inventago just missed it. And we've got 4 holes left to play here. It's going to be 5, 7, 4, and 9. So all front 9 holes. Front 9 holes are typically harder to make eagles on, especially when you see 17 miles an hour in the face and that back right pin on hole 5. So I'm just going to try my best to birdie this one. That's going to be my goal here. Let's put this one safely in the middle of the fairway. Hit it out over the water. I mean, it always has a chance to fall, but this is a low likelihood eagle from me. Other people here can certainly pull this one off. You know, once in a blue moon I get lucky with this type of shot. We'll give it the best chance we can, though. We'll put it out there in that second fairway. Everybody's going to have to end up in roughly the same spot. I've got like a pretty purely upwind shot, though, so if we can just hit this with a little extra power, it bounces just a touch to the right. Yeah, just slightly aimed to the left. Oh, Tom made it. Right on cue. Somebody makes the extremely difficult shot. What a shot from Tom to make that eagle. That is not an easy one at all. This lobby has been on fire. Let's see if... Oh, that's too much power. Hopefully it ends up okay. That'll just glide to a stop. Or roll back pretty strongly, actually. Okay, that rolled back a lot more than I thought it would. We'll end up right by the pin, 2 feet away, so not bad at all. But that one bit curiously hard for being the 5-iron and like 2 dots of power. We'll just tap that in for the birdie. A near miss. Inventago will... Oh my goodness, just lip it out. Wow, that is absolute robbery on that putt. For it to lip... So it registered hitting the cup and then didn't go anywhere after that, but it just doesn't fall into the bottom of it. That's crazy. So Tom, with the eagle, will pull back up to the tie for the lead. Inventago, with a tough par, will drop back down to 5 under, but it'll now be a 3-way tie at 7 under. Me, Tom, and Sedin are battling this one out. We'll move on to hole 7, followed by 4, followed by 9. Tough stretch of holes to make holeouts on. 5 was no exception. Tom pulled it off. And this is not too bad of a pin. It's still a tough make, but it's not too bad. Let's hit the 3-iron up there with a little less power than I typically would. So just about there is perfect. That should roll up to that end of the short fairway pretty nicely. And I think we can go for the spoon with this wind direction and try to bounce it onto the green, roll it up there. Maybe we can steal an eagle if this aim is correct. We'll just have to aim it starting 1 square left. It's 9-mile-an-hour winds, so we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4. Do I want to do 1 more for good measure? It's tough to tell. You know, I'm not sure if it makes too much of a difference. We'll hit this with About that much power on the spoon. Maybe slightly higher than 3 dots. Roll it up there. And let's see what kind of bounce we get. Oh, that's going to fly a little too far, it looks like. Hopefully that holds the green. It will. Okay, it's no problem. It's not a make. We see a real close approach. Who was that who's right behind it? Doesn't look like we'll see any eagles. You know, it's a pretty straightforward birdie. If you don't make it, you can just aim it. You know, it's a pretty flatter part of the green. You can just aim it almost right at it. Tap it up there, and it should fall no problem. So I'll make the birdie, as will, it looks like, the rest of the group. Oh, that was Tom who was right behind it. Wow. So birdies all around once again. 3-way tie at the top with 2 holes to play. We'll see if one of us can break through and take the solo lead. Okay, hole 4 is going to have some tough crosswind, and one of the tougher pins to make it on. 22 miles an hour is what we'll be dealing with. And you know, I may just want to leave this aimed right as is. That's actually not a bad spot to have the aim. Should we just not touch it and just go for the shot as is? I think so. We'll hit it with a little over 3 dots, right about to there, and see if that works. That looks like it's on a decent start. Okay. I wasn't going to do a whole lot better if I had aimed it anyway. It's kind of a guess when you have maximum crosswind, like 22 miles an hour. We'll be 5 feet left. Not a bad leave at all. If someone were to make that ace and win the game because of it, honestly, great on them. I would accept that. There's a couple of close calls that are on much better lines than mine. You know, you want to be on the right side of the pin. Okay, let's tap this up there. We'll make our birdie. We'll see a couple birdies from ads and from G-Yercy. Inventago will make the birdie from the back left part of the green. Tom's shot is on the way. It is going to just miss on the left side. So there are our 2 co-leaders, along with me, Sadine and Tom. Tom has just missed his. Sadine's shot is on the way. Moving to the left. Ooh, it's going to end up a little bit short, but that's not too bad. When it hits the short rough, it's kind of countered by the spin not biting as hard, so he'll end up with a makeable putt from just a little bit further away. Sadine will tap it up there for the birdie. I think my cat just knocked something off a table back there. That was loud. All right, so birdies all around. Once again, 1 hole to play to see if one of us can take the lead and take the game. Otherwise, we'll go into our playoff. It's going to be hole 9. We're going to have, looks like some lighter wind, lighter tailwind. 9 miles an hour. This is perhaps a reachable green in 2. Let's see if we can do it. We just have to aim this a good ways out to the right. Right about there is a good starting point. Let the wind push it slightly left, and we should be able to go underneath that tree with the second shot. Let's see where exactly we end up, if this is going to be doable. I think I may have given myself about the perfect line with the spot that I am. Oh, Tom is in the water. Oh no. Tom is in the water. Someone just hit the tree. What a wild sequence here. Okay. Do I want to try to put like a touch of draw on this? Let's see if I can pull it off. Yeah, right about there might be perfect. Oh, that's perfect. Hang on, that's going to move left just a touch. Hopefully carry the bunkers. Take a good bounce. It'll do it. Wow. I pull off a wild shot, just a tiny little bit of draw. Oh, Sadine has made the eagle. Okay. I got too excited too quickly. I thought I did something special there. Sadine has already accomplished the goal. So if I can make this, it'll be a playoff between me and Sadine. Let's just hit this with... Ooh, it's a little side hill. You got to be careful, but let's hit it with about that much power on that aim. Send it up there. We'll sink it for the eagle. So Sadine, Inventago, and I will make eagles. Sadine and I will end up tied in first place. We'll move on to our playoff sequence. So how we do this is, if one of us makes this closest to pin shot, we have to hole it out in order for it to count. And this is actually a pretty makeable one. It's just a chip on hole 17. If one of us makes this and the other one doesn't, it must be a hole out. That's the game. The game is decided right there. If both of us make it, or if neither of us make it, it then carries over into the next round to see who wins this current game. We move into like a standard golf type playoff where every hole we are waiting for one of us to score better than the other, and then when that happens, that person is the winner. Whew, okay, we have a chip here to try to win this game outright though. I am tempted to putt this, but I have to go up and over that mound. So let's not do that. Let's chip it with maybe like a dot or so of power. Aimed to about there, I want to say. Like somewhere around there is it. I'm hoping that's it right there. Let's see if we can chip this with a dot and end this game right here. Otherwise, we'll go to the playoff. That looks... Oh, it's going to kick to the left off that little mound. That looked good and that took the kick left. Maybe should have accounted for that, but it's tough to tell where exactly that's going to land with all that crosswind. Sedin's shot is going to miss in a very similar way. So neither of us will make it. This game will now carry over into the next one to see whether Sedin or I will take the overall victory. There's a lot of Elo on the line. Sedin is currently ranked number 2. I'm a little bit further back, so if I can win this, I'll be in great shape for this season. We're back with a second game. Our playoff with Sedin, the current number 2 ranked player in the world, is continuing into this one to see who takes first place for the last game. We've gained a player here. Artemis Fowl II is in with us this time around, in addition to the lobby we had last time. We'll have, an interesting looking seed. 17 is looming, oftentimes an unfortunate decider of these playoffs. Oh, Dylan's here as well. We actually have a different lobby. I'll put the graphic up to see who's actually in here. I've kind of lost track of it live. So slightly different lobby this time around. We've got hole 10 with that middle/back right pin. This one is makeable. This one's a very makeable one. Can we pull it off and decide the game here? Just have to aim this, I think, a touch, barely out to the right. We'll hit it with nearly full power. Probably about to there. Let's see if that works.
Nice shot.
Okay, I like my shot. Mine is going to kick to the left just a little bit, roll up, and fall. I'll make the chip. Sedin is still on the fairway. So I've put the pressure on here. I've made my shot. It's a pretty makeable one. Sedin is absolutely the type of player who can make this. We'll see if he can pull it off and continue this sudden death playoff in this second game. His shot is on the way. It's looking good. It's going to bounce up, and he'll sink it. What a clutch shot from Sedin to continue this playoff. We both make the eagle on hole 10. And we'll be the only 2 eagles, so we now take a tie for the lead in this second game. Sedin and I, battling for the last game, are now in the lead of this new game, 2 under after 1. We'll move on to hole 5. It looks like we'll have some... What do we have? Tailwind. We have tailwind on hole 5 and some pretty strong looking tailwind. This is an eagle/albatross chance. Let's hit this one out over all those trees. Safely left of that big pine tree in the fairway. With this tailwind, we can carry that bigger tree on the left, no problem. Ooh, hopefully this doesn't make it to the rough on me. Okay, that'll bounce to a stop nicely. We'll end up safely in the fairway with a good look at this green on the second shot. Do we want to go full driver or do we want to take some off of it? It's a tough call here. Maybe we'll take just a touch off the driver. Oh, Sedin has ended up in the rough. Oh, that is a tough break. That's a tough tee shot. Depending on the tee position you have, too, it makes a difference. And I now have a good look at this green and a chance at the win if I can put it up there nicely. Because when you're in the rough, you can't hit the full powered shot. You only have 3 dots to work with. So mine's going to bounce up there, and I'll end up right on the pin, almost albatrossing it. Artemis Fowl will make the nice eagle. I'll have a little tap in for mine. I mean, Sedin still has a chance. He has a chance from the fairway to hold this one out. It's not too bad of a wind direction to chip from down there. So I've tapped in my eagle. That's now 2 in a row, so a good start to this round. Let's see if Sedin can make the chip to keep this playoff going. Sedin's chip is on the way. Bouncing up there. Will it get the rollout? Oh, it'll just miss on the right side. That's it's a tough chip from that area of the fairway with tailwind. It rolls out quite a bit, and there's not a whole lot you can do about that. But wow, that was a hard-fought game. It went to 2 playoff holes after only the 2 players in our playoff make the eagle on hole 10 with a hole out from the fairway. Sedin will tap in the birdie on this hole 5, and I'll take the victory in that previous game. I'll put the Elo implications and the ranking implications on the screen here. Tough break for Sedin to end up in the rough and not have the full power drive onto that green. But a great game of hard-fought victory. Sedin made it tough. I hit a great shot on hole 10 just to, put the pressure on. And he responds on hole 10 and just has a tough break on that hole 5. And I'll take the last game. I now have the solo lead in this one as well. So We'll see if we can keep it going. We have a good look here at hole 2 with no wind. We'll take the 5 iron with about 3 1/4 dots of power. That looks like a pretty good shot. Hopefully that bounces off the correct part of the green. It looks pretty darn good. Let's see if that zips back for me and falls. It will. I'll make the ace, as will Ads, as will Artemis Fowl. That's now 3 eagles in a row in this second game for me. 2 of them hole outs from either the tee or the fairway. A good start to this second game of this ranked league for me. Oh man, in addition to some makes, you always see some really close calls on these 0-wind holes. Gearsey had a tough one there. Dylan makes the ace. Sedin ends up right by. Someone clipped the pin, and it looks like bounced a little ways by too. Was that Sedin? It may have been. Wow, so we'll see 5 aces out of the group. Once again, that speaks to the level of players that we're playing with here. I feel real fortunate to be ahead. I mean, it took eagles on all of them to have the lead. We'll move on to hole 15 and see if that's where the good fortune ends. The seed gets a little tougher from here on out. 15's always a tougher one. We've got 17 next. Let's see if we can just hit some good shots, though, and try to hold on to this one-shot lead. I'll put this one in that short little notch of the fairway. I like hitting from here. It's a good spot to hit from, at least in my opinion. We'll bounce this one up. Actually, we'll use the spin. We're going over the bunker, so we'll use some spin. We'll aim it to about there. I think that's pretty good. Yeah, let's bounce this up there with about that much power. See if it works. Okay, I think that's a good looking shot. That should move nicely. Hang on, hang on, hang on. Oh, it just doesn't get the glide that it sometimes does on the screen. Oftentimes when you want it to glide out, it's on the perfect line. It just zips back on you. Oh, that was perfect looking, just slightly underpowered. Doesn't get the glide. We'll have to hit a longer putt up there for this birdie now. Fortunately, it's a pretty consistent break. Just have to hit it with like a dot and a half of power. Let's hit my putt up there. We'll sink the birdie from about 20 feet away, and I'll hold on to that lead. So no eagle. The stretch does not continue. I was pretty darn close. It just doesn't quite make it there. I'll still have the solo lead, though, at 7 under through 4. A good score to start this round. And here we have hole 17. Kind of the RNG hole of this game. You never know what you're going to get. And it looks like it's going to be a tough look. Okay, 24 miles an hour is the wind that we're dealing with, pushing to the left. I'll use the spoon and try to bounce this one up there. It's a tough look at this hole, though. I mean, it's a guess. Let's see if that works.
Nice shot.
I'll use the spoon just because I like the way that it bounces up there a lot of the time. It's going to end up... Oh, on the fringe. I thought that might make it onto the green, and it feels like it just like hits a barrier to make it up there. It doesn't quite make it. Fortunately, we actually end up with a good-looking chip angle at this. I don't want to putt this, definitely. But this is not a bad look at the chip. Hang on. Let's aim it to there. We'll hit it with like that much power on the chip and try to just roll it up there that way. This feels like a fortunate break. Of course, I still have to make it. But I like the line that I'm looking at. I think this is a pretty good aim point on a tough... Oh, Sedin makes it. Okay, great shot to Sedin. I now have to make this to hold on to the lead. Let's see. Okay, it looks pretty good. It's going to roll down there and sink very nicely. A fortunate break there to be perfectly hitting downwind and having a pretty straight bounce at that pin too. And it'll just be 3 birdies, so Ads will remain 1 shot back. I'll have the solo lead at 8 under, and there's now a group at 6 under. Still in striking distance with 4 holes to play. We'll move on to hole 9 with some crosswind here, some difficult, actually mostly headwind. Difficult looking wind here. We can actually just hit this one out to the right. And it ends up in a pretty wide part of the fairway. It'll just push a good ways left. And with this wind, we can go up and over that little gap in the tree with a 3-iron. It's actually not too bad on the first and second shot. The third one's going to be a little tricky, though. It really actually depends on where the pin position is. Oh, it's actually not too bad of a pin position. So this could have been a lot meaner on this hole 9, but it's not too bad with this setup. Let's just go up and over with this 3-iron. That should be safe of all the leaves. And the fairway extends out to the left down there. Don't need all of it. We'll end up in a good-looking spot to hit this difficult third shot into the green. Let's club up for sure. We'll hit the 5-iron. aimed well out to the right. The wind's going to push this a good ways left. And I just want to leave this in the area of the pin. That's the goal here. We'll hit it with a little extra power. Hopefully it doesn't zip back too hard if it ends up a little ways past. I'm hoping this is a good spot to aim it. That power feels about right. Let's try that out. It's not going to be a make. It's not going to be super close either. Oh, wait a minute. That almost zips back on the perfect line. Just misses. You know, sometimes it takes a weird bounce and does something like that, and I saw, as it was bouncing, the ingredients for something like that to happen, and I paused what I was saying. There's another one that does that exact same thing that may trickle all the way back down. Whose shot is that? That's going to end up just like a tap-in range after starting on the back mound. Ads, who is one shot back, nearly trickles it all the way back down and makes a fantastic eagle. He'll tap in the birdie. I'm going to have a longer putt here, but it's one that I can tap up there. Not too bad of a birdie. Just kind of through the middle of that bowl in the green, and I'll maintain that one-shot lead. So on that tougher hole 9, we see most of the group. So 6 out of 7 make birdies. I'll maintain that one-shot lead over ads. A couple people still want 2 shots back at 7 under. We've got 3 holes to play. It's going to be 3, and then 16, and then 13. Some of those holes where anything can happen. 3, ooh, with this pin position is fairly eagleable. I'm going to really have to try to make this. We're going to see some eagles from this group on this pin.
Nice shot.
Let's see if I can pull it off. We just have to put it safely left of that big tree and then go through that tree gap between those other 2 trees further up on the fairway. And we should end up within striking range to try to spin this one back and in. It's only 2-mile-an-hour winds, but it pushes you back just a little bit, enough to make this a longer third shot.
Nice
Let's see if we can put that up there to a good-looking angle and try to make this third shot for the eagle. We're a little further back than I'd like to be. We're still within 30-something yards, though, so we can zoom in nicely. We'll aim it to about there. That looks pretty good. And we'll chip it up there with a little more than pin-high power. It's just slightly more, and hopefully it zips back and falls that way. Inventago has made it. Great shot to Inventago. Mine's on a good-looking line. We'll see if that zips back and falls. It will. I'll make the eagle on that hole 3. This has been a really good game for me so far. Someone else has made it. Was that ads? It was the white ball. I know he's using that one. There's another make. Sadine makes it. Girassy's shot will just miss on the right side. That was ads with the chip in. He is still just 1 shot back, despite all of my attempts to hole out and take a significant lead in this game. This lobby sticks around. These are some of the best players in the world. I'm playing well, but I am still not solidly in the lead. Ads is in the group chat yelling, "Let me in." I'm sorry, Ads. 11 under through 7 will be the score. We're on a great pace here. We've got hole 16, then hole 13 to play. It looks like we'll have some nicer wind on this hole 16 and a pin that's a little more accessible. And I'll have a pretty good tee spot, so a good setup here to try to put this on the green, maybe? I mean, we can hit this with like 3.8 dots of power, and it should carry everything no problem. Let's do that.
Nice shot.
Just a shorter drive than typical. That's going to move left, but it'll be safe of all the trees, and it'll make it, oh, not quite under, but it'll launch. We'll clip the tree and launch, and I'll now have a putt for the eagle on 16 from 36.4 feet. Let's see if we can pull it off. I've got about the best look I can ask for, just kind of straight up the hill. I've got to hit it with enough power. It's going to move... Oh, it's tough to tell exactly how it's going to move at the start. It's going to move left at the end. That's for sure. I want to hit this with like 3 dots of power to put it up there. That looks pretty good. I'll send it up there. That looks perfect. It'll move left and fall. I'll sink the putt from 36 feet on this hole 16. I'm on a fantastic pace. I'm 13 under through 8. We still have 1 hole to play. Ads' shot is on the way. It'll roll back and fall. I cannot escape Ads in this game. He is still just 1 shot back. Despite me being on one of the best paces I've ever been on, Ads is still right there. What a chip from the bunker to make that eagle. Okay, Ads and I are still battling it out. 1 hole to play. I'll be at 13 under through 8. Ads is at 12 under. So it's now a battle to see if I can hold off ads in the final hole. It's going to be hole 13. We're going to have some wind to deal with. It's going to be that middle pin. The wind's going to be slightly in the face, 9 miles an hour. I want to aim this about there to start. We'll zoom in to get this aim locked in nicely. From there, it's level 4 wind. So that should be about level 2, and that should be about level 4. Right about there. We don't have to aim this a ton, because we can club up to the spoon and roll it up there with about that much power. Just the top of that second dot should be the proper spot to put it. Let's try it out. Okay. That shot feels about perfect. It's going to move left on the green, and it'll just miss. Ads has tapped in the birdie, though. I nearly make the ace to tie my personal best of 15 under. On this, tougher round. This was not an easy seed here. Ooh, a nice flag shot to end this round from G. Yersey. I'll have a tap in for a minus 14. One of the better rounds I've ever made on video after winning the playoff for the first game. I'll absolutely take that. 2 of my better ranked games. I mean, fantastic battle to ads in that second game. Fantastic battle to Sedin in that first game. We are playing with some of the best players in the world. These players are incredible. I played probably about the best I could, and I barely won both of them. Whew. What an incredible 2 games. I hope you've enjoyed watching. Fantastic battles to my opponents. Oh man, this ranked league is something else in this season.